By building a direct integration into these lead aggregators, we took the conversion rates from 2% to 14%. We started pumping an additional $200,000 of revenue per month for our clients.
So W-2 employee, ETA, buy the business, pay off the SBA loan to today. How many years is that?
We're 2.5 years roughly post-acquisition.
Dude, F you, man. End the interview. This is 2.5 years?
Imagine your best sales rep is on every call and in every text message and in every email with your leads. It's better than your best sales rep because it's going to have access to all of the data.
So you were in corporate America, right? You're working and you were searching at the same time and you found this business.
Yes. Yep.
You paid off your SBA loan in the first 2 years.
I did. Yep.
That's freaking nuts, Garth. But what was the business?
The business I acquired was a call center supporting small businesses around the United States and Canada. What it was doing was taking leads that were generated by the small business and or their marketing agency, putting through a sales and conversion cycle, and then not just appointment setting, but closing the deal, taking a deposit, and scheduling it on the small business's calendar.
What year was this?
I acquired it in October 2022. After running this for 2 years, the board would always ask me at every meeting, what is happening with AI? And in October 2022, the answer was, hey, it's about 10 years out. I think we've got some time. Then 2023, yeah, you're laughing. Like we can all laugh with it.
Yeah, dude. October 2022. What happened in December 2022?
The world started changing and it started changing faster and faster. So basically we went into some serious strategy planning meetings and there were sort of two choices. There was, hey, we have a fantastic business. It's doing really well. Clearly the writing is on the wall that this is going to have to shift or it will sort of outcompeted by AI over time, or we can, make a big investment and go see what we can go do. And so we made the decision to go invest in the AI future of the business.
Okay. Yeah. I was trying to put these pieces together because in my research, I was like, all right, he bought this business, crushing it. Like you were processing $100,000 a day worth of revenue for people who were utilizing you as this outsourced sales team, right? Call center. And then all of a sudden you've launched Rainmaker AI, which it's along the same lines, but I was like, I wonder what this whole process was to actually make the switch to go heavy into AI. What's the size of Rainmaker right now? Like how much revenue are you guys doing a month? Net income a year?
$3.5 million in revenue.
A month?
Annually.
Okay. All right.
We're still running it today.
How big is that business?
That business is, I'm going to give you in terms of people, we have about 50 people in the call center still.
Oh, it's big.
It's big. Yeah. It's not small.
Let me ask you this. So between the time of being a W-2 employee to now where you're probably $50 million plus in enterprise value in the businesses that you have, which is just freaking nuts. So W-2 employee, ETA, buy the business, pay off the SBA loan to today. What's that years? How many years is that?
We're 2.5 years roughly post-acquisition.
Dude, F you, man. Hey, Jamie, end the interview. This is 2.5 years?
Yeah. So well, it's August 2025 right now as we're recording. And so we're getting closer to the 3-year mark.
Was this your goal? Were you no, man, this is what I'm going to do with it.
I searched for a business for 5 years. I put in LOIs on in-home non-medical senior care business. I put an LOI in on a porta potty company and septic pump out business. My plan was to sort of follow the traditional searcher ETA into one of those sort of more standard businesses, home services, blue collar, really your sleeves. I love that stuff, but my background had been in enterprise sales and service, which is call center work.
What size of business were you looking for?
I'll be honest, I was very comfortable going small. I'm glad I didn't end up doing that. So I'd probably drop anything that was less than $1 million in revenue and looking up to probably about 10, maybe 15 million in revenue. When I was doing my search, the family office sort of supporting me. And so if I needed to if I had an equity gap, I felt very confident that I was going to be able to close that. So that gave me a pretty wide aperture that I was able to look at.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Dude, $10 million, you're not just buying that with the SBA and some gap funding.
Yeah. I felt confident I could pull it together if I needed to.
So when did you find this business?
Summer 2022 is when this business sort of kind of came across my desk. And I'll be honest, it was on Biz by Sell. I found it on Biz by Sell.
What?
Yep.
What? Narrative violation. I hate Biz by Sell.
I think people give it a bad rap. I think that there are some, clearly there's diamonds in the rough that are out there. And
I think Biz by Sell is great for getting your reps in.
Yep.
Like legitimately, like go on there, request a bunch of information, talk to these brokers, understand how to look at a sim and ask the right questions, et cetera. It's just a lot of kissing frogs until you find that prince. You know what I mean? It takes a long time. So were you just like surfing Biz by Sell and you saw it?
Man, I can't remember exactly. I mean, I was on and off searching for 5 years. Ultimately, I just had so much fun doing it. I love looking at businesses. Like I loved seeing a business that was sort of in my geographic area and being like, wow, this is so cool. And I could start to envision myself being the owner operator.
So you were at your corporate job, I'm assuming you weren't full-time searcher for 5 years. And you started out with a thesis of like, I'm going to get the unsexy, sweaty business. I'm going to freaking do porta potties and septic pumping. And you ended up with a business that was basically the same thing that you had been operating in, where you had experience.
Yep.
How did that happen?
I mean, it's not by chance. My friends in the search space now are like, what were you doing looking for something that was not in your background area? Like, why would you even try that? Like, that is just silly. And they're right, because when I saw this business, I didn't need to go pull 5 sims from anywhere else. I looked at it and I was like, wow, they are doing some amazing things in these couple of different ways. And like, this is awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome. And no one else that is doing outsourcing or outsource sales can do this.
I'm so freaking glad Connor connected us, because this is like the scene in Step Brothers where it's like, did we just become best friends? Dude, for the last 2 years, I've been doing this podcast, right? Like I sold multiple businesses and I was in healthcare and I was like, well, what else is out there? Oh, tech is cool, or SaaS businesses are cool, or communities are cool, whatever. And then like 3 or 4 months ago, I got to the point where I was like, what am I doing? I have this like skill set where I'm better than 99% of people just because I have a lot of experience in that space. Why would I leave that space to go into a space I have no clue about?
Right.
That just seems like the dumbest thing in the world. And so now, my brother-in-law and I have launched this venture studio for healthcare in particular. But as I've reflected on it, I feel like that is the way to go if you're getting into entrepreneurship, because now I don't have to learn how to run a business and what the business is. Now I just need to learn how to run the business, because I already know what the business is. I already know how it's supposed to operate, but I'm an entrepreneur for the first time. I don't have these like multiple competing learning curves. At least that's how it was for me.
Yep. That was my learning too. Focus on what you know. I mean, the other thing is like, and this doesn't apply to you, but for people who are looking for a business out there, is like getting in the game is so important. And now that I'm in this game here, like I know so much more about small business operations, CAC to LTV, how you acquire customers, what the sales motions are, what's important, what's not important. And, that's what we're taking and leveraging into the future platform of Rainmaker.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Okay. So you just found this business by chance. Tell me a little about it. Like, how big was it? What was the revenue top line? What was the asking price?
It was about 2 million in revenue.
Okay.
They were asking for about 3x, and it had sort of pretty standard margins.
What are standard margins for call center? What, 20, 30%?
Shore based is usually pretty low, like 15 to 20% gross margin. It's pretty rough. Like in a typical outsourcing business. Yeah.
15, 20% gross margin?
Yeah. So you make all your money.
The F?
Shore resources. You don't make money on the onshore resources. You get high revenue on onshore resources, very low margins. Whereas like, offshore, and it's different by each geo, but typically you're looking at like 50 to 60% margin.
So this business is doing $3 million top line. It was doing what? 250 bottom line?
It was better than most because of how deeply embedded it was into services. It was around like 500 in EBITDA. Yeah.
Okay. So you saw it and you're like, I know this space, 500,000 in EBITDA. Okay. They're asking for 1.5. I think I can swing this. Did you have a lot of money you could put down?
I wrote the check. Yeah.
Oh, you just bought it outright?
I wrote the equity check myself, but then took an SBA loan to fund the gap. Sort of traditional ETA, smaller side where.
Okay. Okay. So
10, roughly. Yeah. There were some pieces to that.
Sorry. When you said that, I was like, holy balls, dude. Why did you leave the other company? You got a freaking $1.5 million laying around. Okay. So your thesis was like, cool, I can get in there. I know this business. Did you know that it would have the explosive growth?
No.
Because, okay, so you buy it, it's doing $3 million. I'm assuming you're not doing $3 million a year anymore.
It was doing 2 million at the time.
2 million.
Yeah. 2 million.
Gosh.
Yeah. If you're an acquisition entrepreneur, I don't think your thesis should ever be like explosive growth. It should be base case. Like, I'm going to lose some customers when I take over. Like, it's very slow. And that was what I built my entire financial model on.
Yeah. Year one, learn the business, stabilize, learn the team, right? It's just like, do no harm. If the ship can keep sailing, I'm in a good spot. And then years 2 and 3, you're supposed to go for explosive growth. That's not what happened to you, it sounds like, though.
That is not what happened. So there were a couple of factors at play. Is we got a little bit more involved, what I was calling like lead gen. And we offered that as a new service product to our customers. And there was incredible adoption. And so we started generating by launching a lead gen program, which let us connect in lead aggregators directly into our sales motion for our clients. We improved the conversion rate on leads from those sources. And I'm talking like Thumbtack, Bark.com, Angie's List, things like that.
Angie's List, yeah.
Our clients' conversion rate on those leads prior to us building the integrations was 2%, like on all leads. It was terrible because speed to lead was lower. I mean, like literally we had people who would get a Thumbtack lead, reply to it on their phone, screenshot it, send it to us. And then we would have to like input it into our pretty sophisticated CRM and dialing solution and then call it. And so the conversion rates were terrible.
Was there a specific niche that this call center was servicing? I forget. Sorry.
It was dog training. And I'll get back to like,
okay.
That'll tie back into what my thesis was with this business. But
wow, $2 million a year for just dog training sales or a call center?
Yeah. Like 25, 30 million in dog training a year.
Oh, really? At the time?
Yep. By the time it got scaled up and we did this stuff. So, but you got to hear this. So by building a direct integration into these lead aggregators, we took the conversion rates from 2% to 14%. So we 7x the conversion rate on those. So we started pumping an additional $200,000 of revenue per month for our clients by building that integration.
Hold on a second. Let me get my calculator out. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, that's good. That's a good improvement.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. When you say working the leads, you kind of went from an inbound call center to where you're like getting calls and your whatever leads that you're getting from your customers. How did you turn into an outbound? It's like almost like an outbound call center where you're working the leads, or no?
We've been doing both. So we would get inbound calls, and then we would also get like web leads or leads from any other sources.
Okay.
And then we just built like the business that when I bought it, it had a CRM. It was using Salesforce. We also had Five9. So these are like Fortune 100 level, systems, and pretty sophisticated outbound dialing program there as well. So we get a web lead, we send text messages, we do these follow-up sequences, and we convert those into customers.
Okay. So then walk me through, what was the change? All you did was you started integrating with the aggregators?
Yeah. So the lead sources that we would get and were automated when I came in were things like phone calls. Those would come direct to the team. It would ring. Web leads would come directly in, and through integrations would show up in our CRM, and they get an outbound dial. But there were these other sort of like parts and pieces that were sort of sitting out and not connected into the platform. And so I just went down the list and started connecting them all in. And, that speed to lead went down. The service that we were able to deliver improved, and it started delivering significant revenue for our clients. So as our clients' revenue went up, so did ours.
That is insane. So you were getting a lot of leads that were not either phone calls or web generated. You were getting a ton of leads that were the Google LSA or Angie's List or Thumbtack or wherever else they're coming from. And then you'd have to manually enter those in, or at least get them from the client. Probably actually that was the problem, is you had to get them from the client. Then you had to manually enter them in. And then by the time you're responding to them, there's this big gap, like you're saying,
exactly. So
of the speed to lead.
Yep. So it's not rocket science.
Okay. I'm going to tell just like a kind of similar story. The first company I worked at was a publicly traded company, but they were very entrepreneurial, and they like give you opportunities to go and run these local agencies, they call them, their healthcare operations. And I took over this one, and this one was losing, I think it was $400,000 a year.
Yep.
And then I got in there, and the next year it made $600,000 in profit. So I had $1 million swing, and it was like, dude, Nick is amazing. It's great. I wasn't. They were writing off like 8% of their revenue to bad debt. All I did was like fix the collections. So I didn't really change anything to the business. And then, instantaneously it's going a lot better. That sounds like this, right? Like you're coming in, you're like, dude, we're getting the leads. All we have to do is improve our speed to lead, and boom, we just 7x'd the conversion. Hey, I don't know if you remember this, but when we started this podcast, we entered into a social contract. I would spend time, energy, and money producing this podcast, interviewing these individuals, and giving you insights into how to build, buy, start, grow your business. And you would like, subscribe, and leave me 5-star review. Now, out of that, we both get to talk to really cool people and hear really cool insights. We both get a ton of value. But I just want to help you keep your word. So would you do me a favor? Will you go leave a 5-star review for me on Apple or Spotify? It would really help. And if you want, even share this with a friend.
The epiphany was like, wow, we're converting at 2% on Thumbtack. Thumbtack seems like it's a pretty good business. People invest in Thumbtack. So
right.
It must be better than 2%. Like, what is going on here? And then you're like, well, it's because this person screenshotted their phone and sent us the lead, and now we, have to manually input
How
it.
hard was it to actually get them integrated?
It is not that hard, but it is a process building the relationship with. It took hoops to work it through. The sort of chaos that created was from billing, because I essentially had to put the company credit card in, was buying. So it was like very, very messy to try and figure that out. Because I was like, oh, perfect. I just push it into Salesforce, run a report every month.
Did you see that opportunity before you bought the business, or was it after you got in that you're like,
No, did not see that opportunity before I got in. But that was not the number one idea of buying the business. The business was like, wow, they've built, the founder of this business and the team built something amazing, like fantastic. Like the goal wasn't even to touch that. It's like, perfect, let it keep running. The goal was, can we prove that this model works in another industry? If I can go prove that this model works in another industry, then we are onto something, because we can go take this and bring it to additional industries. And so that was my goal from the beginning. We very quickly got into a med spa. About less than 6 months after I came in, we had
I love med spas.
Referral. We had a med spa. And what we proved was we can sell med spa really, really well. That med spa franchise did not create leads. They just wanted us to keep working their existing customer base, which, if you're doing calls on your existing customer base, not a good strategy. So in the long run, that didn't work. But what we did prove in the 6 months we were working together with them is that we run the same sales motion. The sales call flow works, just sort of like plug and play different pieces. And so that was the epiphany, was like, okay, we can actually take this anywhere. Let's continue to prove that. So then we got into a couple more franchises. We're in a home cleaning franchise in one of the largest franchise roll-ups. We're also into a pest control company in one of the largest global franchise systems. And we now have a handful of other businesses that we're involved in as well.
Tell me about, like you said, when did you identify that, hey, these aren't integrated with the aggregators? And when was it fixed by?
I'm going to guess it was about 90 days to figure that whole process out.
So let's just say you bought the business, and the business is doing, for simplicity's sake, $150,000 a month. I know that's a little bit less than it was, but $150,000 a month. After 90 days and you fix the aggregator problem, what did your revenue jump to? Or did it not jump? I don't know if it was percentage based on what your customers were doing or not.
Yeah, so that is how we built. It was a percentage of the revenue generated for our customers. So we were basically yeah. So anytime we could make our customers more money, we made more money. So it wasn't really that complicated.
Okay, and you said that just by fixing that, it increased revenue for customers
$250 a month. Yeah.
In aggregate?
In aggregate, yeah. So that was adding
10%
revenue to them per month.
Dude, so you doubled the size of your business within 90 days.
That's making it sound way too nice. No, it wasn't quite that big.
Well, you said it added $200,000 a month, right?
For our
for the
clients, yeah.
Got it.
You get a percentage of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What was the percentage you got?
We were typically getting around, like, depending on the exact business, like 10 to 15%.
Let's just say you were getting, for numbers' sake, ease of numbers' sake, $30,000.
Yep.
You increased your revenue 20%.
Yep.
Wow. That's awesome, dude. Wow. And I'm sure your customers were happier because they were getting more business with the same amount of work and leads.
They literally didn't have to do anything differently other than stop screenshotting stuff and sending it to us. So it was like more efficient across the board. Everyone loved it.
So that business growing, doing well. Can you tell me where it's at today? Like what are you doing in revenue today?
It's about 3.5 million in revenue today. So we are in a tricky transition moment of like, what is the future state of, business? And this is a hard play. And a lot of people say, hey, no services businesses can transition into being a technology company. I would challenge that. I think we're probably, I'm sure the size of this business to some is big, to some is minuscule. I think we're small enough where we can make this kind of a transition and do it successfully. And I think one of the reasons we're really well positioned is because there are a ton of AI technology companies trying to come into the space. And I would say probably more on the B2B enterprise side. But what we are doing that I'm not seeing other people doing is that we are coming into the SMB side and not doing appointment setting, like end-to-end sales. So by Q4, our product will be the sort of real first release of the product. And with AI voice, we will be able to ask discovery questions on the call, identify the right product and pricing, deliver that to the consumer, and then handle talk-offs and objections, and then schedule the service and take payment all with AI.
Is everything currently combined with it?
Like the delivery between AI and humans? Yes.
Yeah.
It's combined at the moment. And I think that's actually the really fun question that we're spending a lot of time thinking through is like, what does that look like in the future? I think we all know what it's going to look like in the long run. And honestly, the long run is like 24 months, 36 months, at longest 5 years, like, because these things go so fast. And I think we know that at that point, it is going to predominantly be AI. And I think that is scary to a lot of small business owners. But maybe you saw this update from Google on July 16th. They said, hey, we're going to start having AI call small businesses. And so as we get pressure from corporate America, like this is going to force a small business owner to have an AI voice solution.
I'm a caveman, so please explain it to me like an idiot. Tell me, what is the current process that business owners are experiencing, and what is this new process that business owners will experience, let's say with your company? Yeah, Q4.
The process that small business owners have today is that they spend money on leads and they get leads. If you're using a platform like ours to outsource the sales motion, or maybe you're doing it internally, or maybe you have a team, but now you have to manage some system, whether it's an employee, a VA, an outsourced sales organization, to manage, convert, and close those leads.
You got to figure out what to do with these leads that have been generated.
Yeah. And I think actually the technology setup is pretty complicated once it's not the owner doing it. Because now, how do you get the local number? How does everyone stay on the same page? What email address are you using? Like, who follows up? If you have 7-day-a-week coverage, how do you make that work? Like, because now there's multiple people involved. What are the handoffs? Like, and now what happens when you're doing it at scale and you're running a multi-location business that's doing 10 million in revenue a year? Like, so how do you build a system that can scale? So
even in the current state, what they might have done is said, Garth, I need your company. Please handle these leads. And so your company is working those leads, all of the inbound stuff that happens.
Inbound web lead, we're doing the mix of inbound, outbound from a local number, giving it that consistent look and feel. I mean, our people can talk about the weather in that town when someone asks.
Do you use Go High Level?
We do not.
I just saw that they came out with one of the things I don't like about the texting softwares is it's green.
Oh, yeah.
On the iPhone, High Level just came out with like, it texts in blue.
I think, to be honest, we spent a lot of time thinking about if Go High Level would be a core part of our future technology stack. And it is our take, and we made an attempt at using it for a period of time because it sort of solves a lot of the problems. But what it does not let you do is have a team. To be honest, you need scaled teams.
Okay. So that's current state. Q4, what does it look like? Like, do you no longer have a centralized team and AI is literally just deciding?
We will still have a team. In Q4, we will have AI voice that can, like I said, talk to a lead, understand their challenge, pitch them on the product, identify the right product and price, handle talk-offs, and then book.
Talk-offs?
Yep. So it'd be like, that price is too much. Oh, tell me, what budget were you thinking of? Like, the AI will be able to do all of that.
I thought it was like a competition. Today we're having a talk-off. How long can Brad go?
Handling your talk-offs, it's a process.
Okay.
Maybe this is just me and my like the sales. We could do a whole episode on like home services sales best practices, like what to do, what not to do, and how to handle these kinds of things. So talk offs are like pretty core part of our training. That is going to mean that 100% of calls are answered immediately, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365. And for sure, there are going to be customers that do not want to speak with AI. And so I think one of the big questions is like, where does that go? We can handle that in with our human team in our sort of traditional call center. We can escalate that to the business owner. But I think what is, so the sort of midterm is sort of what I think there are some more questions about, but it's super clear that in 5 years, as we introduce our recursive learning models, there is no way that the AI can't handle it all. The question will be, like, how do you handle it if a customer doesn't want to talk to AI?
That is so freaking cool. Like the thing that makes McDonald's great, I love McDonald's, is I can have McDonald's in Boise, Idaho, Austin, Texas, Miami, Florida, LA, and it tastes the same. It tastes the exact same, right? I know what I'm getting. Now you may say it's a mid burger. It's a 4 out of 10. That's fine, but it's a 4 out of 10 in all of those places.
You're giving pins and needles, and I got to jump in because it's going to be better than McDonald's, man. Imagine your best sales rep is on every call and in every text message and in every email with your leads. It is your best sales rep.
That's what I'm saying.
Better than your best sales rep because it's going to have access to all of the data. And what we are actually building that we sort of coined the Rain Brain is our sales model is going to get better from all of our clients. So like if we're working in another industry and we learn a sales tactic that we need to use, that is going to update the Rain Brain and the sales methodology that we deploy for all of our clients.
The Rain Brain, that's freaking amazing.
Yeah, we have engineers right now building the Rain Brain, which is this complex vector model of how to continuously improve and deploy recursive learning across all these components of sales.
So yeah, you jumped in at the exact point that I was trying to make, right? Is like, now you have consistency and it's the best sales rep that you could possibly have. Why would I, as a small business owner, decide to bring that in-house? Why would I not go to somebody like your company that's just a plug and play? Boom. Hey, you already know how to do this. Cool. Go ahead. Have at it. There's
no way that this is not the way like small businesses today, they go and sign up for QuickBooks. If they need to hire people, they probably go to Indeed or Monster. Like there can be competitors. That's great. If you need to run ads, you go to Google or Meta. Well, when you need to do sales, you're going to go to Rainmaker.
What do you think happens with the human component? Like, what do you think happens with your human team that's answering calls? I have an opinion on this. I'm just curious what yours is.
I think that the human component is still going to be incredibly important, but the role is going to change. And this is what a lot of executives in the outsourcing space are saying, that, we are going to up-level and upskill the work that we do. And this is not the first time we've had this sort of moment in history. Like when factories and the assembly line were coming out and robotics were getting implemented, people said, oh, everyone's going to lose their job. Well, that didn't play out that way. And I think that what is going to happen is that there is the opportunity for incredibly skilled sales professionals to be watching the sales flows. What's working, what's not working? How do we continue to tweak this and evolve? Now, obviously AI is going to be doing a lot of recursive learning, but I think that there are still going to be the opportunity for this in the midterm of like how.
You said it a few times. What the freak is recursive learning?
Oh, how do we continue to make the model better and better? Like if I say something and it doesn't convert a lead, it's tagged it. Oh, we didn't book it. Oh, what happened on that call or what did not happen on that call? And what should I do the next time? And so, hey, look at the math says on these types of calls, we book them. Well, what happened on that call and how do we insert that into, and by the way, I'm using the word call, but it's going to be text message, email, multi-channel.
That's my opinion with AI right now. We're going through this with the venture studio we just launched, is people are feeling like, well, crap, AI is going to come in and automate my job away. And I always go back to, are you getting to everything that you want to get to in your job right now? Or not even want to get to? Are you getting to everything that you were expected to get to in your job right now? Like, and the answer is no. So really, it's just going to make you more efficient and you're going to go from like line employee to supervisor almost. And the AI is going to be like, that's your tag team partner. And they're going to be doing a lot of the work. And you're going to be sitting back and maybe looking at some of the analysis, or like you're saying, looking at that call log. Because even to get it in the right format so that you can then analyze it, you've got to put together the right information. And then even once it spits it out, you still got to take a look at it and understand how to implement it. I don't think it's going to eliminate jobs in the way that people think that it's going to eliminate jobs. I think it's going to eliminate jobs and then create a whole set of new jobs that people are going to step into that will make companies more efficient, more profitable, and provide better experiences for their customers.
So we've already started promoting our teammates or moving our teammates from the call center business into the SaaS platform business. So we've
cool.
a handful of times. That's something we're super committed about. And we really do believe that our teammates that know this sales process so well from working it so many times are actually really well suited to this future job of, you know, what we're calling is kind of like eyes on glass. Like when we already have mock-ups of what I'm going to use a word that is sort of super legacy call center. And this is not what I mean, but it'll help people. The agent desktop of the future. So like people have always been trying to design the agent desktop. How do we create this perfect customer view so the human, the agent working that can do exactly what's needed at the right time? But there is a version of this for the future that is not about an individual customer, but is about the flow of data and where leads are going, where they're falling out, and where you're having the best conversion, and how, if you're having a problem, maybe we are inserting a human into that moment to sort of address it and improve it and correct it.
We should form it as a reward. We should be like, hey, everybody, the hours of 3 and 6, just get outside. Just go hang out. You'll still be paid your full wages. Just go have fun, you know? I don't know. Anyways, it's something I've been thinking a lot about recently, because I'm like, man, we're using more and more and more and more. We don't have the capacity to meet the demand of just natural growth within the United States. But then now we have the LLMs that are coming online. What the freak is going to happen? It's like the debt. I was just looking at this weekend with my son. We get $5 trillion in. We spend $7 trillion a year.
Fundamentally, I just don't know how that works. That makes me nervous. I mean, that's why, this goes back to like, I paid off my SBA loan as fast as I could, because that kind of thing just makes me nervous.
What's your plan? What's your plan with this company? Are you wanting to expand aggressively into other verticals, or are you like, hey, I think home services is the thing. I'm going to stick in the land and expand mode?
I think what we are looking for right now is the early adopters that are ready for this kind of motion and this kind of efficiency in their business. There are still big businesses with smart folks that are going and trying to build traditional call centers. And it's concerning that that's still sort of the thesis that smart people have, because there's just no way that that's the future in a pretty short period of time. We already do have enterprise clients in our pipeline that are outside of home services. And so I expect that we will probably not make the leap to sort of B2B sales, because that is a much more competed spot with AI. Like you can see a lot of AI SDRs. We are not trying to go get into that knife fight. We think that there is so much opportunity in the small business space. And I think it actually has the opportunity to impact the small business community massively. Like I personally know so many of our clients now, many of them feel like trapped if they are taking their own calls. Like, you know, they have to have their phone on them 24/7. It's
for sure.
In the morning and they're at the gym and they get a lead. They have to like stop doing their reps and call that lead, because they know they just spent $50 on that lead. And if they don't call them right now, their competitor probably will, and it's over. And they just like literally flush $50 down the toilet. That is a sort of intense pressure that never stops. And so I think with this company, we have such a bigger mission. Like part of the American dream is, I think, buying a business, creating equity and real wealth for you and your family, like material wealth. And that is not tens of millions of dollars. That's a very comfortable American lifestyle, though, that it can create. And I think that we've sort of a trick, like you become trapped day to day, and you do this because you hope you can spend more time with your family, yet you're sort of chained to your phone in the modern technology world.
I agree with you. I think that this is going to become more and more a thing. What are you calling it? It's not a call center. It's not a call center anymore. It's a what?
It's a sales platform.
Just a sales platform.
We probably need a better name than that, but that's what we're on right now. Our current sort of, I said we have a sort of this after hours solution. We call it Anytime Agent, but there is going to be this massive sales solution, and probably the reason we haven't named it is because we actually think it needs to own everything from lead to cash. Like there is the other big break for small businesses in the model is that they're spending billions and billions of dollars to purchase leads that don't convert. And like that part of the system is broken. Like they're buying leads that aren't converting, and the balance sheets show who is making the most money as a result of that. And that seems like something's wrong there.
The thing I love about this idea, and obviously this is one product in a sea of products that are currently being thought through, but there is going to be an arbitrage. I know like a lot of tech bros or finance bros are like, oh, I freaking love arbitrage, bro. But like you're saying, right now there's billions of leads that go unconverted by that company, but they go converted somewhere else. Like that person who was looking for something ends up making a purchasing decision for the most part somewhere else. And so there will be this gap, is my feeling, for all AI technology, where the early adopters see such an outsized return on their investment early on in AI. Everybody's going to be looking to them and be like, well, what are you doing? And eventually everyone kind of implements it and it gets to parity again. And there will be another opportunity for differentiator later. But that period of time, that arbitrage between the early adopters and everybody, the laggards, I think it's going to make a lot of people a lot of money. There's going to be a lot of businesses that just crush it and create a competitive advantage, like a first mover's advantage.
Absolutely. I mean, the example that I can give where I think that this is going to pop so fast pretty soon is that announcement that Google made where in local search and select verticals and in select markets. And the example they gave was like, I think auto mechanics and pet groomers, and they were using San Francisco, and they did pet groomers near me. Mm-hmm. They showed, and this was posted on X by Google. And there was a button that showed up in the bottom, like it showed you the normal search results. And then it said, get more information with AI or something like that. You click that button, it walks you through a quick workflow where you select the businesses, and then Google's AI calls those businesses with an AI, gets the pricing, gets the availability, and gets a basic understanding of the service, and then sends an email or a text message back to the consumer. So this is probably this is going to be so hard for businesses to manage in the way that many of them operate today for a couple of reasons. One, now you have the phone potentially, we'll use the word, I'll make it a little bit, exciting, like ringing off the hook with AI. So now you got to answer AI, you got to give them information. So you probably paid to be in that result. Now you're paying a human to answer the phone, and you are not going to get the lead's name. You're not going to get their phone number, and you're not going to get their email address. And now imagine where there's AI services to answer that. And so imagine it's like, talk about efficiency. Imagine it's like this, where an inbound call comes in, you have your AI Rainmaker service pick up. It identifies that it's Google's AI, not a different one. It identifies it as Google AI call, not a human. And it triages it differently. Maybe it can speak at 10x speed to reduce the tokens or the call length to reduce the cost and deliver that more efficiently and in a way that puts your business at the top of the results in that email or text message back to the consumer. When you say we're about to potentially see some massive gaps emerge, I think the answer is yes.
The first one that we saw was Meta released their earnings 2 weeks ago at this point. And the thing that really stood out to me is their ads business. It grew like crazy and it's more profitable than ever. Why? Because small businesses love Meta ads and they keep using it. Yes, it's true. But because Meta ads has become better by utilizing AI. So it's easier for small businesses now to target their ICP, to convert leads, to actually find the right people. So of course I'm going to go to Meta. So they've used AI to make their product better. We're now going to start seeing that, I think, like you're saying, trickle down to the sales process, the fulfillment process, the billing process, the HR hiring and onboarding, like all those different processes. And it's going to be, it's going to be so crazy.
I feel like, the moment,
it's a gold rush
generation to make it and change the world. Like this is the time. And so you asked me, what is my goal? That's my goal. Going back to ETA, that's an asymmetric bet on yourself. Having a good run at that and then taking another asymmetric bet is also part of the fun. I think it's a Jeff Bezos quote, but it's in baseball, the best outcome you can have is 4 points, but in business you can get 10,000. So always go for it.
Yeah. A grand slam is only 4 runs.
Right.
If you hit a grand slam, it's 4 runs.
And if you hit a grand slam,
business, there's no camp.
There's no cap. Yeah, exactly.
I love this. We're going to end it here. Where can people find you?
Hit me up on LinkedIn, Garth Fasano, and find us at Rainmaker.ai.
All right. Hopefully you liked that episode. And if you've made it this far, you're either really committed or you're stuck doing yard work and you can't actually skip on your phone. So while I have you, the show is growing, but I have a favor to ask of you. Will you please help me grow the show? I want to reach more people. there's a couple things that you can do. Like and subscribe is the simplest thing. Obviously, you want to get notifications for when the next episode is coming out. But if you go the next step, will you leave me a review? 5-star on Spotify or Apple. What that does is it tells the algorithm that, oh, hey, this is a high value podcast because more people are leaving reviews for it, and it then pushes it out to more people. So that's why when people are like, will you like and subscribe and put a 5-star rating? It's not just to make themselves feel better. It's actually to get more exposure for the show. So if you do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you next time.